It's a very busy weekend here in central Indiana. I know you and Angela were watching the storms, potential storms that were rolling through last night. How are we looking for today?
It's a little stormy out there this morning, so this is not going to be a severe weather event. The Storm Prediction Center has kind of pushed that risk off to our east, so that's good. But if you do have any morning plans, perhaps you're trying to get outside during the first part of the day, do believe some of those plans could be at risk because of where this is all setting up. So let's break down live Doppler 13 radar and where the rain is as we speak. As of 6:18 or so on this Saturday morning, we are watching some of these lightning strikes becoming a little bit more widespread here just to the north of Cicero. So we've got from Tipton to Elwood, seeing some of these heavier downpours with some embedded lightning to go along with it. That is the case as well as we head over toward Muncie and a little bit farther north where there's a steadier rainfall across the northern tier of the state. Essentially what we've got is this storm complex. It's going to be interacting with some drier air as it pushes off to the east. So while at one point it was packing quite a punch over in portions of Illinois, it's really starting to weaken. But with that being said, still think there's going to be just enough to hold this together to keep at least a rain or storm chance around during the first part of the day today until this whole system can push off to the east. Looks like that's going to happen later today. Again, good news. This is the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, pushing all of that risk of some stronger storms to our east for today. So let's walk you through the latest timeline on our high resolution weather model. Outdoor plans between now and about 10 a.m. Still think there's going to be quite a bit of dry time, especially to areas south. So just keep an eye to the sky, depending on what you've got going on during the first part of the day today. This is through 10 o'clock in the morning. Notice that as this boundary gets here, there will be some redevelopment of storms. So what's out there now isn't going to be the whole show. This will start to fire back up around 3 o'clock in the afternoon as this actual front will be that triggering mechanism for storm development. And then after we get past about 3 p.m., this line will continue to hang out across the southeastern tier of the state. So places like Richmond down to perhaps even Shelbyville and Columbus still going to be impacted by a storm chance through 6 p.m. But for us here in the Indy Metro and north, Kokomo to Lafayette, we're already going to be back in the sunshine, looks like, by about 6 o'clock tonight. And that's going to set us up for a pretty good evening overall, with the exception of a few lingering clouds. So it looks pretty good for any outdoor plans you might have after about 6 o'clock tonight. So that is good news. I know a lot going on throughout central Indiana. We've got a nice forecast from a temperature standpoint as well, as we all recover back to the mid 80s later today. And as the sun goes down, falling into the lower 80s. So temperature wise, pretty seasonal for this time of year. Things are going to change up as we get into our Sunday. Want to put our smoke forecast into motion. This is going to take us throughout the duration of today. Notice this plume of smoke that develops to our northwest. This is all going to be pushing in our direction. So as we get into late tonight and then during the day on Sunday, we're going to be in this dense smoke deck. That's, of course, coming in from those Canadian wildfires. We're going to tap back into that northwesterly wind flow. So it will be another hazy day tomorrow. I want you to be prepared for this. We already have an air quality alert in effect because of that haze and the smoke that's going to return to our atmosphere tomorrow. With that being said, we're still going to heat things up. Looks like most of us see highs back in the upper 80s. As we get into Sunday. Here comes our next weather system as we look ahead Monday into Tuesday. Going to be a little bit more of an unsettled pattern throughout the work week as we've got this dry day on Sunday. Scattered showers will be off and on throughout the week with temperatures that remain seasonal. 83 Monday, 86 Tuesday. We're back in the upper 80s by midweek next week. We'll be right back.